The Nightmare Tyrant's armies teemed across the wasteland of the Nightmare Realm. Shadows, nightmares, and Winkies, a coalition of malice, set to spread his influence. Bart Simpson watched them from afar, atop a plateau overlooking the scene. With him was the former King of the Silver River, now calling himself simply the King of Town. He had passed that title on to Bart, but now he was prepared to help Bart use the power that came with the position. Bart could feel the power coursing through him. It was so strong, he could almost taste it. He knew that soon he would have his chance to make the armies of the Nightmare Tyrant cower in fear. The Nightmare Tyrant's own dark trick rested on this army. His creatures, once simple shadows, now swarmed like a cloud above the ground. From it emerged his dreaded nightmares, the Tyrant's greatest weapon. From the shadows came his Winkies, his shock troops. They wore dark armor and wielded short swords. A far cry from the shining blades of the 14th Army. Bart could feel the Tyrant watching him, the Nightmare Tyrant. The King of Town comforted him.
"Feel the peace of the Silver River in your heart,"
he instructed.
"It flows through every citizen of the kingdom."
He reached into his robes and produced a small silver orb. He held it in his palm and spoke a few words. A beam of shining light lanced forth from his hand and struck the orb. It split in half, and the halves spiraled away, like two beams of light, one red and one blue. It vanished in a twinkle. Bart felt his heart race. He could hear the cackling of the Tyrant behind him.
"It is but a smaller,"
the Tyrant said.
"It can't do much."
Bart's eyes darted back and forth, studying the army far below him. He could see his chance now to strike. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a golden coin, showing it to the King of Town.
"How much?"
Bart asked. The King of Town smiled.
"This will do."
He produced a wooden box and dropped the coin into it. It clunked and rolled to a stop. Bart smirked and signaled to his sister in the distance. Lisa nodded and held out her hand, which bore the Ring of Solomon. The ring glinted with the reflection of the orb, and a portal opened up over the army.
"Bartimaeus!"
The King of Town shouted and waved his hand. Bart held up his arms, feeling the power of the Silver River in his heart as he'd been told. It was a peaceful feeling, and Bart dreamt he was at the bottom of the ocean. A shark fin swam up to him and sucked him in. Then he was standing on the beach, right next to Lisa, the water lapping at the shore.
"Nice to see you, Bartimaeus,"
the King of Town said.
"Bartimaeus the Ugly. I've heard so much about you. Welcome to Solomon's Realm."
The Silver River rushed forth through the portal, flooding the landscape and washing away the Nightmare Tyrant's armies. A mighty current surged through the land and washed away the shadows and the nightmares. The King of Town had a grin on his face.
"Now let's give them something to remember us by,"
he said.
"Let's give them something to really remember us by."
And, without another word, Eda Clawthorne came through the portal, followed by Twilight Sparkle. The two equestrians rode a mighty tiger, while Bart, holding Lisa, stood by smiling.
"Look at us.
He said.
We're a real-life fairy tale."
More of their allies came through the portal, just as they'd planned.
"What do you think?
The King of Town said.
Will they be able to help?"
"I don't know.
Bart said.
I hope so.
Bart looked at the darkening sky.
I wonder what the Nightmare Tyrant is planning."
The King of Town's eyes followed his gaze.
"I too wonder."
Bart looked up at his sister as the portal closed. The Nightmare Tyrant had escaped in all the confusion, but they knew he must be in Castle Oblivion.
"You okay?"
Bart asked.
"Peachy King."
Lisa said.
"Now what?"
Bart asked.
"Now what?"
Lisa asked.
"Now we gotta save the kingdom."
Twilight, Eda, and the others approached them.
"So, blood after all."
Twilight said with a sigh.
"I can't say I'm surprised."
Are you okay?
Eda asked Lisa.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
"I'm fine.
Lisa said.
Just a little tired is all."
We should get going.
Daphne said.
There's not much time.
Bart looked back at the portal. There was still a lot of confusion back there, but it was a start. He could get the attention of more people if he went back through there.
"Let's sneak back there and see what's going on."
Okay.
Eda said. The group returned to the portal, and this time Bart went first, carrying Lisa. When he looked back, the others followed, with Daphne last. Bart looked around.
"Okay, let's try to blend in.
He said.
Do something boring. Go help that guy over there.
He nodded toward a nondescript soldier who had just entered the portal.
We have to make sure no one saw us."
The group moved over and helped the nondescript soldier. He was a small man and had a nervous habit of licking his lips, and even now he was doing it again. Bart spoke to him in a low voice.
"Can you take us to Castle Oblivion?"
What?
The man asked, surprised.
It's another realm. We just came from there.
"The other realm."
Bart asked.
"What's that?"
Oh, you must be new here.
The soldier said. He looked around nervously.
That's where we live.
Bart gave the man a sideways glance.
"Is it really?"
Why did you think you're the first to come here?
"No, just someone I know."
He looked around once more.
"Can you take us there now?"
The soldier looked over at the portal, then back at Bart.
Well, I don't know.
He said.
I mean, if we go back there now, we might be arrested for breaking out of here. You know.
"We won't be arrested."
How do you know?
"Because I'm Bartimaeus of Rook, and I just saved his kingdom. I'm the king of the Silver River. They wouldn't dare arrest me."
The soldier looked at Bart's face.
Excuse me. You're the king of the Silver River.
"That's right.
What do you want to do?
Get to Castle Oblivion. Of course."
Bart said.
Well, Okay then, let's go.
The group walked over to the portal. The soldier gave them all a look over and then stepped through first.
By Bartimus!
The soldier turned around and walked backwards, looking at Bart with a smile.
By Bartimus!
The soldier disappeared. Bart looked at the others.
What a weird guy.
Bart said.
Why'd he say bye to me like that?
I don't think we can trust him.
Daphne said. Ida looked over at the soldier as he walked away.
She's right.
She said.
It could be a trap.
We should follow him and see where he leads us.
Are you sure?
Daphne asked.
It might not be safe.
Let's go.
Bart said. He led the group through the portal, then over to the soldier.
Do you know where Castle Oblivion is?
Oh, it's across the border in the Nightmare Realm!
The soldier said.
You best not go there! It's a terrible place!
Why?
Bart asked.
Well, because they're the ones that put me here. There's no escape from this place. I'd say that's reason enough.
If that's the case,
Bart said.
then we should go some other place. Like where?
The soldier thought for a moment.
Really don't like the sound of that place.
He said.
I'd suggest you turn around and head back through the portal. Most people that come here don't survive.
We're not most people.
Bart said with a smile.
Let's go.
Okay then,
The soldier said.
it's your funeral.
The soldier turned around and pointed the way he had come.
Follow me.
He said. He set off down the path, with the group following. They walked in silence for a long time, with the soldier occasionally pausing to lick his lips.
So, what's the deal with the Nightmare Realm?
Bart asked.
Why is it so bad?
Why do you think?
The soldier asked with a grin.
Because
Bart said.
it's the Nightmare Realm.
No, it's not.
The soldier said.
It's so much worse.
Bart frowned.
What do you mean?
It's the Nightmare Realm.
The soldier said.
Because that's where we're going. We're going to see the Nightmare Tyrant,
The Nightmare Tyrant.
the ruler of the Nightmare Realm.
The soldier said.
Oh,
So why the long faces?
The soldier asked.
It's not as if you can do anything about it now, you know.
I don't know.
Bart said. He looked around to Lisa, Ida, Twilight, Morgan, and Daphne, each in turn.
Do any of you have any IDs?
I can't think of anything.
Lisa said.
I'm sorry, Bart. This quest seems to be doomed from the beginning.
That was when the group stopped. Standing just ahead of them were Bart and Lisa's parents. Mr. and Mrs. Simpson said. Bart looked up at his parents, who both had sad, worried looks on their faces. It seemed like a lifetime ago that they'd been taken from him, stolen by the Nightmare Knights.
Mom,
He said, running over to her and wrapping his arms around his mother's waist.
Dad, I'm so glad to see you. Are you all right? Did something happen to you?
Lisa asked.
Yeah, we're fine. Tell your sister not to go in the water near the Nightmare Realm, you know.
Mr. Simpson said.
It's full of snakes.
Okay, Dad.
Lisa said.
Listen, Bartimus,
Mr. Simpson said.
we've got big troubles of our own. Our village was over by zombies. My wife and son were eaten. We need help.
what are you talking about?
Bart asked. His father smiled at him vacantly.
Those aren't your parents.
Ida said.
They're shadows.
No, they're not.
Bart said.
But they're in trouble, just like us.
No, they're shadows.
Ida said.
They're here to trick you. When you go through with this, you'll be giving up your soul.
Like you need another one.
Lisa said, rolling her eyes.
We need to get through to them.
Morgan said.
If we can get through to Bartimus, we can get through to them.
Daphne asked.
Well,
Morgan said.
we can either kill him or drive a dagger into his heart. It's up to you.
I'm sorry, Bartimus.
Lisa said.
But we have to kill you. Again.
Lisa, are you sure?
Yes, Bartimus, I'm sure.
Lisa said.
Go on, get it over with.
Wait,
Daphne said.
if you do this, we'll all be dead. You know that, right?
Well, I see two options.
Morgan said.
You can either walk through that portal as a spirit and be transported to the Nightmare Realm, or you can stay here with us as a ghost and never get to see the light of day again.
Let me try something.
Daphne said, producing her wand.
Try help me out. Come closer so I can get a better focus on you.
You're going to use magic.
Bart asked.
Don't worry.
Daphne said.
I won't harm you. Well, not physically. Anyway,
You might hurt my feelings.
Bart said.
How come I thought you were supposed to be good at magic?
Daphne raised an eyebrow.
I'm good at lots of things.
She said.
Now, get closer.
Bart hesitated, then did as Daphne asked, raising his eyebrows in confusion.
What are you waiting for?
He asked.
Hit me with the wand.
Daphne pointed her wand at Bart, while Twilight's horn glowed. The magic intertwined, blasting the young king of the Silver River. Bart gasped as the magic flowed through him. Then his eyes glazed over, and he collapsed. Daphne looked down at the young man, shaking her head in confusion.
He's not dead.
She said.
What?
Morgan said.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Daphne said.
Let's check him.
Daphne approached Bart, who was lying on the ground twitching.
He's still alive.
Bartimaeus said. Daphne knelt down next to Bartimaeus, placing a hand on his chest. She nodded.
He's going to be fine.
The images of the Simpson parents began to melt, and Lisa watched in horror as they pooled together. She stepped away as the yellow goop turned orange, taking on the form of the Nightmare Tyrant.
Lisa, don't go in there.
Bart shouted, sitting up.
You can't stop me, Bart.
Lisa said. She began to grow smaller, turning into a tiny figure.
Bart.
The tyrant stepped forward, devouring Lisa. The goo reformed into Lisa, and the Nightmare Tyrant laughed.
This is your sister. Bartimaeus,
he said.
I have a special task for you.
What's the task?
Why, to kill, of course.
The Nightmare Tyrant said.
No, Bartimaeus!
Morgan said.
She's your sister.
I have special plans for the both of you.
The Nightmare Tyrant said.
I'm going to transport you to the Nightmare Realm. You will be my food, Bartimaeus, and you, Lisa, will be my queen. When I find a suitable husband for you, all the power of the Nightmare Realm will be at my disposal. Until then, you will do my bidding, understood? Good.
I understand my fate.
Bart said.
But what about you, Lisa?
I don't yet know mine.
Lisa said.
I'll find out soon enough.
The Nightmare Tyrant stepped through the portal, and all of them stood there, staring into the swirling pitch blackness.
It's going to be fine, Bartimaeus.
Morgan said.
I know.
Bartimaeus said.
I'll be right behind you.
I love you, Bart.
Lisa said, as she followed the Nightmare Tyrant through the portal. Bart lunged after her, and all three disappeared from sight. The soldier followed behind them, leaving Daphne, Twilight, Morgan, and Ida behind.
Well,
Morgan said.
that was a waste of time.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Ida said.
Don't be.
Twilight said.
We should probably be thinking of a way to kill Bartimaeus.
I have an idea.
Morgan said.
And it's probably the only one we're going to get, so listen close.
All right.
Daphne said.
Bartimaeus is a very dangerous human.
Morgan said.
I have an idea how to kill him.
You do.
Daphne asked.
Not exactly,
Morgan grinned.
but almost.
I don't get it.
Ida said.
It's simple, really.
Morgan said.
We just kill the kid, and then the Nightmare Tyrant can't do anything. It's that simple.
That's terrible.
Ida said.
Right, just an idea.
Morgan said.
And yeah, that's all it is.
She said.
It ends up doing something horrible. We don't even know what's going to happen. We don't even know what Bartimaeus will do.
He's just a boy.
Daphne said.
He's always been a monster.
Morgan said.
I can't believe you're defending him.
She's right.
Twilight said.
He'll probably turn into a frog.
A monster! A monster! A monster.
Morgan chanted.
Oh, you're so cute. How's that feel?
He's the king of the Silver River.
Ida said.
If he dies without naming an heir, do you know what will happen to the Lost Realm?
Probably it will remain lost.
Morgan said, flipping her hair back.
That's the price you pay for not being part of the social scene.
We should just kill Bartimaeus.
Daphne said.
Ida!
Morgan said, glaring.
Do you even know where he is?
He's right here.
Ida said, pointing at Bartimaeus.
Oh, great.
Morgan said.
Well, what have I just told about you, Daphne?
I don't know.
Daphne said.
How about we use that book I got from Glenn?
What about it?
Morgan asked.
We could use the magic in it to blast Bartimaeus into oblivion.
Daphne said.
I don't think so.
Morgan said.
The last thing we want to do is unleash the full power of the Nightmare Realm upon the world. That would definitely end up with us getting it. Besides, that book is just a distraction. We should just kill Bartimaeus.
But it can't be done that way.
Ida said.
The book is all we have.
I hate this part.
Daphne said.
I just want to kill the guy and be done with it already. Okay, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna kidnap Bartimaeus' mom.
Morgan said.
Then we're gonna do something. I have the perfect disguise now. Let's get to work. We don't have much time.
Ida shook her head.
I can't. I just can't.
What do you mean? We're so perverse. We're the good guys.
Morgan said.
Bart and Lisa rescued me.
Ida said.
I owe them more than this. We have to trust they can handle the Nightmare Tyrant.
I know, but the Nightmare Tyrant is a complete idiot. If I steal his disguise, it'll only be for a limited time. I'd be a fool to put it on and not use it for that time. No, the only way I'm doing this is if I can put this disguise on without anyone knowing. That's simply not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Then fine.
Morgan said.
But we do this my way. Daphne will be our new best friend. She'll be very convincing. I'll even help her with the accent.
The Nightmare Tyrant is a powerful enemy.
Daphne said.
If you think this plan is going to work, you better think again.
We're not doing it to win.
Morgan said.
We're doing it to make a point. Bartimaeus needs to die. There's no other way to get rid of him. We'll just be borrowing his power until we find a better way to get rid of him permanently now. Let's go get Marge.
Marge.
Ida asked, confused.
Marge is Bartimaeus' mom.
Morgan said.
I'll explain it on the way.
We're not even sure if this works. We don't have much time.
Ida said.
Sure.
Morgan said.
I'd say we have a 50-50 chance of success now. Let's go.
Your plan is stupid.
Ida said.
I think we should focus on providing support to the Grand Alliance.
I agree.
Twilight said.
Harold promised to get them to help. I'm sure they have a plan. Yeah, but it's not our plan.
Daphne said.
What are you gonna do? Sit around and hope Bartimaeus gets bored.
I'm not gonna do anything of the sort.
Ida snapped.
I'm gonna go make sure the Grand Alliance has a chance of winning this war. Now, let's go.
And that's kind of where I decided to stop it here. I tried to set up for the AI to pick up the battle plan that this group was plotting the last time we saw them, but I don't know what happened. It just kind of, things happened. It seems like the Nightmare Tyrant's armies got wiped out, so that's something. But next time we'll be jumping into Castle Oblivion with Nightmare Tyrant, Lisa, and Bart, and we'll follow them and see what happens there. And that will be our season finale for season 3, so I hope you all look forward to that. Things are kind of coming to a head here. This chapter ended up being kind of weird and meandering, but there was a lot of little one-liners that I thought were funny, and I just kind of let it keep going the way it was, because every now and then they would just say something that I thought was funny. Also, and I thought this was pretty cool, I got a little bit of fan art recently from someone who drew a couple of variations of the Nightmare Tyrant. I never really thought that fan art would be a thing that might come out in Nightfall, but this is really cool, I think. So I thought, you know, if you want to send any other fan art of like the Nightfall versions of characters or like scenes from Nightfall or anything, if you wanna, you can email them to me. I can throw them up at the end of a video like this, plug any social media that you might want. Just tell me how you want me to refer to you, or if there's a DeviantArt or Instagram or anything you want me to plug with it. I hope you all enjoyed this chapter, and if you happen to miss the previous one, here's a little clip.
You will be invincible. All the more reason to help us.
I'm not interested in being invincible,
said Jolene.
I'm only interested in being powerful. I don't want to be the most powerful being on the face of the earth. I want to make sure no one opposes me.
We will bring you with us as an advisor,
said Farah.
The Grand Alliance needs all the help it can get.
Jolene smiled, seemed to hesitate, and then nodded.
Very well,
she said.
I accept. I will do my utmost to ensure your failure.
Good,
said Pearl.
Wait, that good.